Okay guys, I am packing up and leaving. If you are just tuning into this video hoping to see some good groups with H.335 and a 55 grain Hornady bullet, go ahead and stop the video now because you are not going to see that happen here. What you're going to see in this video is me shooting terrible groups and trying to figure out what's going on with my setup. So the reason for me revisiting my pet load of 23.1 grains, if you remember from the first video, was because last time I shot this gun, I was getting terrible groups, hardly even hitting a target at 200-300 yards, so I thought I'd revisit it. We went out and shot the loads that we loaded in the first video, and they were terrible. I mean, embarrassing. A minute of raccoon. I mean, it was god-awful. So we thought, hey, it was really windy. Let's try it again. So we loaded them up, went out a different day, shot them again, same thing. Absolutely terrible. So at this point, I'm talking to buddies of mine that shoot a lot more than I do, and they're like, hey, change your scope out. You were using a cheap Pinty Amazon scope. Change that out. Your rings might be loose. Something's going on. So this is going to be the third attempt to make the second part video. I've tried unsuccessfully 2 times to get anything that resembles groups out of this rifle. The first 2 times it was windy. Today it is not, so there are no excuses. The wind, I don't know, it's barely blowing, maybe 3 miles per hour. I put my Nikon scope back on to eliminate any possibilities of being the scope, torqued it all down to spec, shooting off of a front new Magpul bipod today, whereas the last 2 times we were shooting off of a bag. The last time we were out here, there was another guy sharing the bay with us, and he overheard us talking about our problems, so he thought it was ammo related, which, at that time I wasn't ruling that out. So he brought over some Israeli IMI, beautiful looking brass, really good annealing marks on it. But anyways, I shot that, still the same thing, terrible groups. So he actually came over and loaded up a 5-round mag and shot, and same thing. I mean, his shot placement, the holes almost covered mine. I mean, it was really bad vertical dispersion, terrible group. So that was the 3rd shooter that was shooting this rifle and still cannot get a decent group. So hopefully we'll have better luck today. Stay tuned. Okay, so first up we've got the 23 grains, the 23.5 grains with the Hornady 55 grain full metal jacket, the H.335 powder seated at 2.20 overall, and downrange at 100 yards. I've got my Bushmaster AR-15, chambered in 5.56, the Nikon 4-12 scope. So here we go. No excuses today. Hopefully we'll get some better groups. Just shot the 25 and the 25.3. 25 looked kind of like the 24.5. It was resembling somewhat of a group. Not sure what happened. I mean, I've changed scopes, I've changed the handrail, put a different trigger in. I don't know what happened, but something along the line. I mean, this gun is just like, it's almost like a shotgun. It's just splattering. So let's see what we've got here on 25 and 25.3. So 25, hey, at least I'm on the 8-inch target with all 5 shots. 25.3, that's a few of them low. Man, I don't know. This is bizarre. I'm at a loss at this point, other than tearing the gun down piece by piece and just examining everything and rebuilding it from the ground up and seeing if I get any different results. But this is pretty awful. It's a waste of time, waste of ammo. Hopefully I can get this figured out. 23.0 grains. Look at that. Awful. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 way up here. These are 8-inch targets, people. 8-inch targets. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. 23.5. Hey, 4 of them are on the 8-inch target, but we got one out here. I mean, what is going on? So then we go over to 24 grain. We got 3 of them on the 8-inch target. We got 2 way up high. And I was letting the barrel cool down between these. Between each one of these two group targets, I was walking back and forth 100 yards. So, you know, the barrel had plenty of time to cool. 24.5 looked, like I said earlier, somewhat like a group, but still pretty awful. You know, everybody swears by 25 grains with H335. Hey, all 5 are on the black, like the 24.5, but still pretty awful. 25.3, which is the max charge, for some reason was shooting lower than the rest. Not sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm at a loss. This is awful. Terrible groups. This rifle originally started out as a Bushmaster QRC 16-inch. It had the plastic handguard up here, so I changed the rail on it, put in a LaRue MBT trigger, you know, just added a few things. Nothing fancy. This rifle's still pretty basic. So this time I thought, you know, we'll load them up again, shoot off a bipod this time, get really stabilized, put on a name brand scope this time, a Nikon instead of the Pinty. You know, I loaded them on a single stage, double checked every charge on a very precise digital scale. Everything was loaded perfectly and still getting terrible results. So what went wrong? I mean, did I mess something up when I was putting the rail on? I'm at a loss, guys. I mean, this is, you know, sometimes I can get 3 out of 5 shots to group, you know, maybe 1.5 inches. But, I mean, these things are spraying all over the place. So I'm not sure what to do next. My cousin, he's kind of a gunsmith. I might have him take a look at it and see if he has any different results. But I think I'm going to put this on hold for now. So if you have any suggestions on what to try next or what you think is going on, please leave a comment below. But yeah, anything would be helpful at this point. Thanks for watching.